He started giving me these good ones. My brother was getting offered some jobs that they didn't have black people to work on. He graduated college and he was working in this little small town on some job, and he would get them and we'd give them to the black community, and people fall out down. So I said, that's what you need to give me, some of them jokes like that. You know, because we had the ones about the black man, Chinese man, and the white man. You see, and this cat loved me to death. And he said, look, I got a new job, I'm gonna have to quit. I got a new job in my profession, but I want you to come to this party. You know, so I said, I want you to come to this party. I said, well, it's too bad, man, I'm gonna be working that night, or what have you. And the white people in the store was like, we baffled. This guy is in love with you. I was saying, well, what's the big deal? You're not talking about no gay stuff. They say, no, this guy loves you. And I said, so what's the big deal? They said, that guy there is the top. He is the top youth of the South Carolina, Columbia branch of the Ku Klux Klan.
Let me get you to pause for like 50.
The electoral, I wasn't even conscious back then. This is like close to 30 years ago. You see what I'm saying? But he's picked something up in my essence, what my potential would be or whatever. And it shook him to the core. And they were like, man, that guy there, it wasn't like the other guy told me years later. I used to be, about 40 years ago, the junior member of the Ku Klux Klan. They were saying that this guy was like the heir at that particular time. This was in the 80s. He was like the heir to be the next Grand Master. You see what I'm saying? He was in his mid-20s. He was the heir to be the next Grand. And this cat loved me to death. But what it was is, like you're saying about the whole Michael Jordan thing, that's how they do them, because they don't consider them black.
Yeah.
Right. They consider them a hero or something. But whatever it was with me, it was some type of spiritual thing. I wasn't even aware of it at the time. You see, I wasn't even aware of it at the time. And it was amazing. And they were so scared to doing the relationship with me and this guy coming to work. He worked in the store about 3 years. But no, he worked in the store about 6 months. And obviously this guy was fearful and notorious. Because during the time of the relationship that he worked in the store, none of the other white people had enough guts to tell me. That's how afraid they were of this guy. Only when he announced he was leaving and on his last day of work, they told me. You see, they told me. So it's just interesting how things go, on how things go and all. But then again, on the other hand, there's things that's happening behind the scenes. Yeah. You see, there's things that's happening behind the scenes, which is very interesting. Now, I want to get into this particular part. I was supposed to say this. I was supposed to go into this last night. Now, ironically, it was in New York about 5 years ago when this mystery first came down. The first person to break part of the mystery, because the Olmecs are a mystery. Yes, the Olmecs are a mystery. They left no writing. You see what I'm saying? And what we can gather. Now, you can say that, if you want to study Olmec culture, study Mayan culture.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's right.
It's in a nutshell.
There it is.
Right. That was the human aspect of it. What happened, the brother Rudra, I think was at the lecture he did, the first lecture he did here. He said, the reason why we don't know nothing about the Olmecs, and we got these big heads, and I guess you can, it's getting, let me know when they get a little cold. And all, yeah. And they got these big heads. Down in Mexico, what, parts of South America, what,
Brazil, Mexico.
And so, but they don't have any writing, and it's still a great mystery. He said, you getting cold or somebody getting cold?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, we can close that now. I'll be all right. Because like I said, the temperature just gonna drop. That's just some southern stuff. You see what I'm saying? When I first came, when I was first coming up here, when I like I said, I spent the summer down here in 1970. Me and my 3 brothers and my mother. You know, all I know is we had to fight. Every day, there was a new, I made the mistake, because back then I used to fight. And I made the mistake of punching this nigga in the face. And I think I was like about 9 years old. So every day, we was in Bed-Stuy. So every day they have a new brother standing on the front porch, waiting for me to come out. And he would follow me around till about 12 o'clock when they had them sprinklers used to get in the park. And they had them sprinklers, and I think they would cut on that. And he would follow me around till about the time those sprinklers. And then I'd have to go and hit him in the face and beat him up because I wanted to go into the sprinklers. You see, and this happened the whole summer. You know, the whole summer. So that was probably, when I started coming back to New York in the 90s, I'd be like, what's the temperature like today? And it's like October, November. They looking at me like, why do you want to know? Well, I said, I want to know what I can, how to dress. Yeah. It was like, wait a minute, hold on, man. Hey, man, you up north? What's this cold? It's cold. Ain't no, you talk about May or something. Because in Atlanta, it can be freezing one day. Just wait 3 days. It's gonna be warm. It's gonna be almost overbearing. You see what I'm saying and all. So we got to have 2 different coats and stuff. A light coat. You see what I'm saying? A light leather for This is in January. You see, and a heavy coat for when it gets cold and stuff like that and all. But so I'm kind of misconstruing things, trying to tell you to open up a damn window and so we can close this. You see, y'all got don't mind me on that. I'm thinking I'm in Atlanta. Okay, so what Rudra broke, he said, when we see the Olmecs and we see those heads we don't know much about them, he said that was a time when the gods used to rule. You see, when the gods used to rule. So in Egypt, when they was asking Manetho's history, he was given to Philadelphius, what they call it?
The list of kings.
The list of kings. He said we had so many pharaohs in the dynastic period, which was 3,000 years, and we had another one in the pre-dynastic period, which was about 8,000 years in the pre-dynastic. He said, so we're talking about roughly about 11,000 years. He said, well, who used to rule and what used to be that way? Who used to rule before that? He said, that's when a whole bunch of gods used to rule. But the gods is us prior to us falling deeper and deeper into the physical plane.
That's right.
So it would be Atlantis.
Okay. I like that.
You see, it would be Atlantis. That's when the gods, so when you hear Isis and Osiris, what made them gods and different from you? That's a part when they were in Atlantis or Lemuria. They got several names for these particular things. And the only reason why they don't really play it up is because they know, and the European knows that he wasn't around at that time. You see. But, so they always give you the physical destruction of Atlantis, but this is some stuff pre-physical days. But, the key here is, if the Olmecs were the gods, and this guy here, let me get up. This guy here, David Hatcher Childress, got a book out. Let me show you. Let me see the name of his book. He made an observation. He wrote a book on the Olmecs. It's one of the few books that deals with a more of a. Let me see. It's another book. This is Nexus magazine, but they're reviewing his book, so it's best to get the book. This is February 08. The Mystery of the Olmec Civilization by David Hatcher, Hatcher, Childress, Childress, David Hatcher Childress. The name of his book, is called. It's got a book on Adventures Unlimited. So you can go online to www.adventuresunlimitedpress. AdventuresUnlimitedPress.com. But I want to let me get the name of the book.